The Sun King is that which is above me, drives me. I'm the king, and the sun above me is what is dictating to me. And the sun I see as the force of life. Is this the thing that I'm going to be glad that I did as I'm laying on my deathbed? Am I going to say, gee, I'm really glad I spent 6 months learning how to use kit all over again, blah, 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 blah. Hello, I bet you thought I ran away. I didn't. I was just having a rest. And that is really important to remember, as I said in the previous video, just who the boss is. And the boss of me is me. And that me is the creative person. So just hang in there, and I'm going to tell you all about the Sun King, who I've been talking to for the last month while I've been off air. And I'll explain to you why I took a break. I had to take that break. I really needed it. I was just getting overwhelmed by a feeling of being dragged along by the nose by, of all things, YouTube, or the system kind of pulling me into its tide, into its, I don't know, it was like a slipstream of energy, and it was disrupting my own energy, which is my creative energy. And sometimes, as I said in my last video, brain fry, you really do have to stop. Just stop it, and it's really hard to do if you live somewhere where you can't reconnect with nature, but I needed to stop. And I did a lot of work on my teaching website, actually. I got caught up in that for about 4 weeks because I had hired someone in Canada, a consultant, to actually help me transform over from the Teachable platform into the Thinkific one. And I just went right down that rabbit hole, using, there's so much AI involved, so much learning. I had to learn so many new systems, and I've always kept up to date with them. But honestly, I just got to this point where I thought, what the hell am I doing? And I did the sums on the numbers of what I would actually make by setting up this teaching website, and the amount of work involved for me to update my courses, etc. And after spending quite a lot of money on getting assistants to get me to learn all this new stuff, I really did have to sit down and ask myself, how old am I? And how much time have I got left? And why am I actually doing this? Is this the thing that I'm going to be glad that I did as I'm laying on my deathbed? Am I going to say, gee, I'm really glad I spent 6 months learning how to use kit all over again, mailing programs, relearning how to do mail sequences, relearning how to do nurturing sequences. And I thought at the end of it, we have such limited time. We have such limited time on Earth. Now, if you're at the younger end of the scale, totally get it. Go for it. Just do everything. Follow your nose, follow your instincts, follow whatever's going on. I can actually sit down at 65 this year and pretty much count, if I'm lucky, that I only have a few decades, maybe a few more, hopefully, 20 years if I'm lucky. And that is such a short time, isn't it? Look, any of you that are this age and older, you know that 5 years goes in a blink. The older you get, the faster it goes. It's a well-known thing. And I've terrified myself just a short while ago by setting up a Memento Mori calendar, which is this thing that sort of grades the weeks of your life over your lifetime. Oh boy, I left that on the fridge for about a month until I couldn't take it anymore. But I want to get it back out again because it just puts you in this mindset that you just can't afford to waste time. And yet when you do need to stop and navel gaze for a while, because that is part of the process, otherwise we just like a hack, we're just hacking at everything, and it may be actually meaningless. You've got to stop and say, is this really what I am and what I want to do? is this really what I want to contribute to the world? And it's not just about, is this me? Is this painting? Is this style me? It's not just about that. It's actually a lot more. It's about this compromise, okay? So it's not you, sorry, it's not about you doing your best work ever to some degree. It's about you being the most effective communicator ever. Because as an artist, you know that you can't sell your work unless it has appeal to other people. But then there's that compromise where you go too far and then you're compromising, your own heart. So that's crap, isn't it? It's complete bullshit. That gets you nowhere except hating yourself. But there's somewhere in between, and I really am quite sure that the real thing to focus on is it's not about indulging this way or that way. It's about understanding when we get into the energy stream where we're delivering from our heart, but we're also communicating in a way that's reaching other people. Now, that is what I mean by the slipstream. You get into that river and things flow, and they really do. And people will come along, they will like your work, they'll buy your work, they'll appreciate it, they'll just like it. That's good enough. And you will feel like you're doing good work. And you don't feel compromised. So there's just this harmony. None of us are just here on our own doing our stuff. It does matter. And the more isolated I become or am down here on the farm by myself, the more I learn this lesson. And the video I made on extrinsic and intrinsic motivation was incredibly important. So go back and watch some. That's probably the most significant thing I think I've actually done in trying to negotiate this problem. So I'm stuck in this again. And myself, so when I started to go and do all the teaching site, and I haven't given up yet, I've done a lot of work on it, I suddenly found myself creating this huge rod for my back. So that's what I mean about the Sun King, is that which is above me, drives me, it's what gives me. I'm the king, and the sun above me is what is dictating to me. And the sun I see as the force of life. And I just show you in this little diagram. So you've got the sun, which is basically life. It's energy and warmth. It's what makes everything alive and dead. And then under that, you sit on your throne. You're the little king. So the Sun King is aware of where and what he is here for. And nature, sun, whatever, gives you, you can call it God, however you describe it, gives you the gift that you have. And George is on the canvas. And it's your unique gift, your way of communication, your way of expressing yourself. And you've got to remember that is the most important relationship that you will have on earth. And that should guide everything. So underneath that is all of the stuff that you do. It's all the games you play. It's your jobs, your family, everything else. I'm not saying they're all under you, but what you are, everything else is below that core focus of where you come from. It's very clear. When you get pulled off your path because you're chasing too many squirrels or red herrings or whatever you want to call it, which very creative types are prone to do, what happens is all of the things under you that might serve you, art gallery, art sales, teaching, you might be teaching art, you might have an online shop, whatever it is, all of the things, all the ways you express yourself in the world and put your work out there, you need all those venues and outlets. But when these are really like your subjects, okay, so if you're the king, and you don't think of this as a bad thing, but you're the king or the queen, whatever you want to be, and underneath you are all these things that are serving your existence, right? And all those things, all those pathways, it might be your drive to get a house, your drive to have a family, your drive to have your kids succeed or whatever, all those things. But all of those things underneath includes things like YouTube, teachable platforms, kit mailing programs, websites, AI, Amazon, everything you do, everything we come across is a distraction. Now, that's fine as well, but just leave the family out of it for a minute. So all those tools that you're using, all those vehicles, those vessels, are meant to assist you. But you have to remember, using this pyramid here, that you've got to remember that above you is the sun. So that's your purpose here on earth. You have one. And your job is to identify what it is. What is the thing that you do that no one else can do, pretty much, And it might be something very simple. It doesn't have to be a famous artist or a famous writer, but it's that thing that you do really well. And when you're doing it, it's seamless, it's easy. So easy sometimes that you actually forget about it and then you start abusing it, like I do sometimes. And then I start chasing all these red herrings. Oh, I'm going to learn how to do this. And I want to learn everything. I'm just like that. This is when you, as the king, get off your throne, you forget what you're really here for. And you go down, I do this all the time, and you go and you get your hands dirty and you get involved in all the shit down below, all the politics. You go, before you know it, you're $10,000, $20,000 you've spent on, I don't know, mailing programs and stupid shit like that, like marketing. And honestly, the thing that really hit me, and it always does, is just look at YouTube, right? The people that are doing really well, you know what they're teaching you? You really think about it. They're teaching you how to be successful at YouTube, right? All of them, they're not actually teaching you anything. I know there's lots that are, but the bulk of people that do really well are actually teaching you, they're making you long for something that isn't really anything. So you've got to remember this. You must measure this with some sensibility. So let's just slow this down again. The really successful YouTubers, a lot of them are saying, I will teach you how to make a successful YouTube channel. I think that's probably the classic trap that I see. And you must analyse what actually are they doing? What are they giving? And I take that back for all the marvellous tradesmen and craftspeople and artists that are actually sharing wonderful doing things on YouTube. But when you think also about all those little systems, okay, so let's just take Kit, like mailing programs. Is it Kit? It was called something else in the past. And when I went into that, I had the free plan and I thought that's all I need. But as soon as I tried to do anything with it, as in make, sequence, I hate all sequencing emails. It's where I was getting pushed in regards to how to use this properly to gain people like students in the teaching platform. Suddenly, I went from a free plan to a $1,700 a year plan, just like that. And I thought, what the bloody hell happened there? And then the same thing happened with a couple of other subscriptions. And I thought, what is going on? And I sat down and I added all this up and I thought, I would actually have to make about, I don't know, it was like $15,000 a year to cover all these costs of just literally making this teaching platform, etc. And the other thing that made me really think is I thought, go back to the Sun King. Am I here to be a teacher or a therapist, even here on YouTube? And no way, I can't stand therapy. Like, it's just not for me. I'm a School of Hard Knocks girl. It's fine. I think it's great for lots of people. I love talking and I consider talking as therapy. But I could just see that my time, and I worked out how long it would take me to re-edit. I had a whole lot of tutorial things that I can turn into courses. And it was going to be months. And then I sat down and thought, is this really what I want to do at this stage of life? And then you start to see that every one of those little platforms, including YouTube or whoever, all of them, Instagram, Facebook, all of these little platforms, they are there. They're little sun gods. And so even the YouTubers that are encouraging you to make YouTubes, they're just selling YouTube success, right? And you think, what the hell? All these people are just selling you, that you are just one of these little plebs underneath for their Sun King. Look at Facebook. They're up there, they're serving this God, whatever it is. And look at YouTube. They've got this God up here and it's like, algorithm, we need views. And it goes on and on. So before you know it, you get your leg caught in all these messy noises. They become your God and you start serving them. So the whole point is that you just have to be super careful and disciplined about this, and you do need to pause. And in this current age, there is such a strong push to pull you into all these alternate realities. It really is about serving their gods, and you're sucked into the whole thing. It's really as simple as that. You are sucked into it and they want you in there, and I don't know. Honestly, it's up to you. But I think the ultimate thing that really got me was I was really having fun with AI and, really pushing it to see how far it would go and what you could do with it. And I haven't touched it. I haven't even looked at it, I think 6 weeks. And it's actually been really nice. And just taking a break, I could see straight through it. And there's a couple of guys on YouTube at the moment I've seen. I still do watch that sometimes. And they have been like tricking AI into really just revealing what it is by asking things like, will you marry me? And really silly things. But it does actually get it back in perspective. I suppose for you out there that have never touched AI, you're probably just laughing about this. I've got to get back to work. So that's it. I'm back. I'll try and keep it up, but I may be doing a few different things coming up. So you'll just have to let me know if that's okay. All right, I'll see you later. Hopefully not another month will pass before you see me next time.